guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, so we are talking Turner syndrome. And I haven't actually talked about it in a while, but I want to talk about something to do with the infertility part again. Obviously, we've been in the thick of finishing our foster care certification, but I wanted to talk about kind of a different aspect of things. We watched Shawn Johnson East, but most people know her by just Shawn Johnson. She is an Olympic athlete. She was an Olympic gymnast and went to Beijing in the Olympics in 2008, got gold on the beam, and she was 16 years old. She was incredible. She was one of my favorites to watch, and she was talking about the journey that they are starting to try to start their family. Her husband is Andrew East, so that's why it's Shawn Johnson East now. The way I found out she had a YouTube channel was actually through her videos last year about their miscarriage. She found out she was pregnant. She told him very, very quickly after telling him she miscarried. And they documented the whole thing. They posted the whole thing. One of the things in a more recent video they did, looking back on that, was talk about the way that they felt. And she said she felt really guilty, like she had failed, like she did something wrong, like she didn't take care of the baby well enough, like she didn't do what she should have, like she stressed too much. She felt like it was her fault. And I think one of the things that I really connected with probably the most was that guilt. Obviously not for losing a pregnancy, but definitely in being the reason or the factor that puts us on a different path towards having a family rather than the traditional way of having a family. And I have felt guilt with that. I have put that on myself and felt like it was something wrong with me, like maybe if I did more to take care of myself, something could change. And looking at it as something wrong with me instead of it being the way things are. And even more specifically, the way things are supposed to be. I went on a major journey processing, grieving, dealing with the reality of the numbers, my situation, and what that told us. And a part of that was accepting that we were not going to have the traditional story of becoming parents. I probably was not going to be able to surprise Andrew with a positive pregnancy test. The other aspect of that was coming to the conclusion that God had a different plan for me. That was the path He wanted me on. It wasn't by accident. It wasn't some side thing that got tacked onto it. It comes with it. It's a part of it. And that was not a surprise to Him. He knew that was going to happen. He saw what my numbers were going to be. He saw how my body was going to be functioning before I was even born. And that's just reality. It's not something wrong with me. It's the fact of how my body works. It's how God made me to function. And I believe that that was a total 180 from where my mind naturally wanted to go, which was why and how are we going to get through this, and what was wrong with me to have that happen. And that's hard. That's where my mind naturally would go, because this is something I wanted literally since I have memories. It was the most important thing to me that I knew no matter what else might change, I knew I wanted to be a mom. I knew I wanted a family. And I wanted kids. And that being a no, that being a not likely, was both devastating and a relief, if that makes any sense. Devastating in, obviously, that wasn't the news I was wanting. That took that hope that was there beforehand, before getting answers, and just totally took that away. But on the other side, it was a relief in having answers, and there not being a huge question mark over my head anymore. And I know I've talked a lot about that. The other part she mentioned was that she said they believe there is a reason for everything. So it wasn't the right timing, or it's not supposed to happen that way. And it really has very much been my story that when I shifted my mindset into this is the path God has for me, this is the story He has for me, this is the purpose that He has for this, versus this is something wrong with me, it makes a huge difference. And the guilt then is majorly negated in that it's not something wrong with me. God doesn't make mistakes. And while we can feel that hurt and that pain and that grief from the way that changes things or what our expectations might have been, it still wasn't a mistake. He knew it was going to happen. It wasn't a surprise. And that's just my reality. Just like somebody that can get pregnant like that, that's their reality. That's the way their body functions, and everybody's body functions differently. This is how mine functions. If you, as a fellow Turner's woman, have similar numbers, similar issues, that it manifested itself in the same way, that's how our bodies function. It's so unique that it's not something wrong. It's your story, your reality, whatever that might be. And I kind of wanted to touch on that and share that. I thought the way she's talked about it has been really incredible. Really super inspiring for how she shared it. And I just thought I wanted to share that because I really connected with that. And I don't think I've touched on the feeling guilty part more than maybe once or twice. There is guilt associated with it though. And I think it's okay to acknowledge that and process it, because it's a real emotion. It's a real experience. And I don't know about you guys, but I have definitely had that as a major part of my process of dealing with all of it and processing all of it. I probably really got rambly and jumbled, but I just wanted to share that. I will link her channel. She's really great. I love, if you know who Shawn Johnson is, I love her. She's amazing. So I just wanted to share that. And happy Turner Syndrome Thursday. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye!